Hey, everybody. How are we doing tonight?
We vibing. It's not to, is it tonight?
Yeah,
I'd say it's tonight.
it's not
That's
though.
fair.
It's really not.
It could be. How
Oh,
you doing this evening?
it's
I'm vibing.
2:30 in the afternoon.
It's 3:31
So
in the
true. It
My
afternoon.
is
time zone is the
2:31.
only time zone that matters,
You are
and
very
Swabby
loud
will
right now.
corroborate this.
You are very loud right
Central.
now. I'm gonna turn you
Huh?
down.
Oh, damn.
You are being suppressed for your heretical beliefs that are not compatible with the future of my world,
Oh,
just like your mentor.
no, 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 no,
When the
no.
party last left off, they had recently finished exploring a few different important pieces of information that I will not spoil for the member who has not been here yet. After doing so, while at an overlook, they have peered down into the valley of the actual city with its variety of buildings and long decayed ruins, and see off in the distance the pillar fumes of a fire. Having started to set themselves down, the party, with Zeus over Lorik's shoulder, is heading way towards those fires now. Zeus remains fast asleep at this time. They make their way down, and you find yourself on your first little obstacle in that how do you choose to actually get down and make your way to this structure of the city, given that it is a good probably 80 feet straight down? Will you be using a little bit more flying? What will be your preferred avenue of approach?
I feel like flying might make us seem a bit, uh, basically,
Yeah,
these people probably haven't seen other folks come down for a long time, so new folks just flying over them would not be a good look.
I'd say we probably just walk.
Featherfall? Question mark?
You have feet. We should use them.
Yeah.
Nah. The
Every-
mage class wants you to start forgetting about your feet.
Every time Rifter trips, call it a featherfall.
I will stab you.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
what's changed?
They make their way along through these busy, bustling streets. On either side, you find many which are unremarkable, but a few which do bear some necessity for remark. There are ones that are great ornate bathhouses. There are ones that are magnificent archives that continue to go out farther back. There are ones that have bits of food that are still strangely preserved in their market stalls. They have others that have wonderful waterworks in the center of like a small plaza, and a variety of mansions litter the entire area, and almost every single building is trimmed in an ornate white and gold, with the only blemishes being a small, consistent bluish layer of grime over everything. Rifter and Darius are probably the two most acclimated to it. As you actually are walking along, eventually the thought thinks, what if it's not just gold colored? What if it's actually gold? And as you investigate, you're able to identify that yes, almost everything everywhere here has actual gold built into its structure.
If Rifter finds any like pieces that are chipped off or whatever, he's gonna take a few and put them in his bag of holding.
Are you trying to do it sneaky from the rest of the party, or just do it?
I'm just gonna do it.
Okay, roll me 2d6.
Okay.
You end up finding a few good chunks that end up being loose, and you get 7 GP.
Awesome. You just hear Rifter snickering as he's putting these fucking gold pieces in his bag of holding.
Orc just shakes his head briefly.
I wonder how much that's worth. as he's kind of looking around. All that's worth as he's like kind of looking around at the swaths of gold in the walls. But at its core, it's probably we're not exactly going to be in want of gold once we deal with Seiron.
Never to be too careful. That's my motto.
He shrugs.
So, been mulling it over. How exactly should we approach the people down here, asking for help with finding a place to set Zeus down? Maybe that might
Probably.
make us seem less like we are potentially coming here to cause havoc or anything of the sort, which
Potentially. I think that's probably a better avenue. It'd be nice if we had him awake, but it is what it is sometimes. I think... Yeah, I think that'd probably be the best way.
In the
I hope he's all right.
In the absence of other comment, the party begins to make closer. You can determine that you're, given the general angle of the smoke trail, that it's probably only a few buildings away at this point.
Let's, now that we're getting closer, try and put away our weapons, make ourselves look as unthreatening as possible.
Rifter's gonna sheathe hope. He's gonna put change into his feather quill, and you see as he like pops up his dagger returning through his sleeve and then puts it back under his sleeve.
Darius's weapon is in his little pocket area as always. Alright, I guess I'll lead the front. Lorik, you try and hold the back a little bit. If they... we don't know if they're watching us or not. If they... I don't know, approach us with weapons drawn, let's try and not escalate it. Do any of us here know Elvish at all? I know Zeus did, but I just want to... Is anyone like learning something at all? I know we have comprehend languages, but I don't know if that works on listening to people.
As I recall, that's the main usage for it.
No, I thought it was for reading things. My bad.
It does both.
Okay. Well, let's move forward then.
Would you like to use one, or would you like to wait?
Oh, let's wait.
Let's wait. Darius has one like in his bag, like with his hand on it in his bag. Like
We should also have one ready to offer them in case they don't understand the languages that we speak.
Indeed. I've got one here for myself. I don't know who else has another one.
I think I have one in my pack. Give me one moment. Lord kind of shimmies Zeus along his shoulder so that he can reach into his pack and grab the second comprehend languages to give to Darius.
Alright, thank you. Alright. in absence of further preparation, I'd say we head forward.
Lead the way.
As Darius takes a little peek around the corner,
Oh, whoops.
Darius and Rifter take a little peek around the corner. The two of you can see a group of 3 dark elves, or as you called out, drow, all sitting around a small campfire. One of them is relatively well cloaked in some sort of leathery skin. The other 2 still in leather, but not so much as armor, more so simply as work or travel clothes. Ones that seem much more practical rather than fully for defense.
Darius is gonna kind of back up around the corner again and kind of turn back to everybody, make a couple steps back. Looks like, and he's kind of low on his voice. It looks like there's 3 of them over there. I don't want to overwhelm them with how many people we have, so I think I'll head in either on my own or we have one person head in on their own. Rifter, I'd like you to be, you know, the thing you do.
Rifter nods.
All right. You want to go in with Zeus, Lorik, or do you want me to go in?
Mayhap the 2 of us could go in, myself carrying Zeus.
Sure. Spoonhawk,
Lend
be
it for the
back here
credibility.
and ready to round the corner. I don't know if there's somebody watching us, but just be careful. All right. Rifter gonna do the thing?
He's gonna do the thing. You see as Rifter just boom, pops out of the
Wow.
existence.
Rifter stops existing.
So true.
At least to
And
you.
then there's
He's
Rooster.
dead?
He's dead.
Oh
He's
my
dead.
god.
All right, then
Oh,
Darius is going
okay.
to kind of
Rifter.
shift his demeanor
Rifter.
and act as he's supporting.
Yeah, yes.
Go ahead and
body.
give me a stealth with advantage.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I never fail these, right, boys? I would never double that.
My guess is that you have to double nat 1 to fail it.
I have never failed these.
While you're going through, there's the ever slightest hint of the one who on the right, the one who is well armored, as he turns his head slightly towards you at one point while you're traveling forward, like traveling through it, and you stop, and that's enough for it to lose his attention for that moment. And
So Darius, oh sorry.
he returns to tending the fire and the small amount of meat that is atop it.
Darius is shifted his positioning so that he is supporting carrying Zeus with Lorik, so that it seems more of like a team effort here. And then think we start
his turn is much more as you enter the room, and he sort of starts to enter his side, and he gets forward and he speaks in a language that none of you understand. Karata, tara, and but they all look sort of shocked. 2 of them start to stand a little bit farther back. One of them moves over to this older woman who is currently on the ground, seemingly sleeping, with one of the shroomites currently curled up sleeping on her chest.
Darius kind of looks at Lorik and kind of shuffles through one of his bags. I don't know what we're going to need this.
Right. Lork has his one free hand up and empty, and says, Darius, maybe roll the scroll on the ground to them. Let them...
As he kind of finally gets one of the scrolls out and kind of places it on the ground and tries to roll it forward, as he grabs the other one and casts himself.
At the moment, completely ignore that. The younger of the two girls is currently arguing with the man who has his bow ready and close to being drawn towards you, as the other one is trying to pick up the older woman and move her.
Okay. Darius is
After a little,
sarcastic,
after
yeah.
that slight moment, you're able to pick up and you're able to get through on the tail end of that bit of it, and it's like, but they're clearly hurt, and it's like, you'll be too. If we don't get out of here, we will too.
Well,
The
I can
young
understand now.
he backs up with his bow, still just kind of gesturing for you to stop walking forward when you take a step.
Yep. He stops with Zeus and he kind of like nudges Lorik to do so as well.
Right. Lork has stopped in place, hand up and visibly empty, other hand carrying Zeus.
Here, we should set him down and raise both of our hands if we can, Lorik. As he sort of like lets Zeus down with him and raises both of his hands.
Lork does the same.
He looks at Darius, reaches into his pocket with his offhand, and pulls out a dagger and drops it gently on the ground while continuing to look at you.
Lork is going to unbuckle Temperance's sheath from his belt and set it on the ground.
Darius is, with no obvious weapons on him at the moment, just going to take off his bag and just place it next to Temperance.
The younger one starts to go forward, but the man once again reaches out and grabs her and just says something a little quieter for that Darius can't hear. He reaches out and calls out to each of you, "Why are you here?"
Darius is going to, like, with the hand still raised, kind of point at the scroll that he's rolled over.
Are you going to say anything first, or just
He's going to say, "I don't know if you can understand us, but if you can't, if you can understand us, then that won't help me talking." Lorik, how are we gonna get them to?
It's a rule of comprehend languages. It should make it easier for us to talk.
The younger one is clearly trying to persuade him of something. Eventually, he points at Zeus, points at the ground near him, around right here.
We kind of, I assume then we pick him up and kind of move him forward a little bit.
Okay. And then he points at you and back at the wall behind you.
All right, and then we move back to the wall.
They backed up while you approached, and eventually the younger one moves forward and gets very close to Zeus and just starts looking at him.
Rifter jealously next to him and hands off my man.
Very true, very relatable, very understandable.
No, actually, while Rifter is intangible, he is going to try to, like, I guess, put together or to the best of his ability, remember who these people are and try to find out what their designated roles are while he's just looking at them.
The only thing you're able to pick up on right now is that one of them is generally following the orders of a protector, and the other one is much more independent from the group.
Gotcha. Okay.
takes a few seconds, but she, you know, touches Zeus, lifts his arms and stuff, and turns back to him and says, "It's not too. He's similar. They might have had the same thing." And then looks down at like Darius and Lorik and says, "I don't know. Can you understand us?"
Darius nods his head yes.
She turns around to the rest of the group. Do any of you know what that means? And then she turns back. If yes, put up your right hand.
He puts up his right hand.
All right. Well, there's that at least. All right.
Darius once again gestures to the scroll on the ground, then gestures to his mouth.
She starts moving to it, but he stops her and does it himself instead, just in case, because he's being a little protective, which you surely understand by now. And at this point, communications can actually start. And while the other two continue to move her away a little, this remains here, and the conversation can begin in earnest.
Oh, finally. All right. Hello, sorry, we don't mean to intrude upon you. We were looking for a place to help our friend here.
At the moment, he just continues to look at you.
Is he going to be all right?
The only others we've seen who aren't like this have been our enemies. Aside from just showing that you're vulnerable, how do you intend to prove that you aren't as well?
If there's anything... Oh, Lorik wouldn't have understood that.
Darius would tell Lork he wants us... He's trying to... He wants to know how we're not going to be their enemies. Like, prove it to them.
If there's any way that we can help with anything that you need, we have healing of some sort, if that might help.
He says some words to the young girl next to him, and then looks at you. Okay, but even then, what is your purpose here? Why are you here?
Lord says in a low voice, do we bring up the Godseed or no?
I mean, I don't think lying is going to help a whole bunch here if we end up getting
the specific interpretation is like literally here. Like why?
Oh,
why did you go to them? Like why did you go to them? Why are you where you're at right now? Why are you in their presence?
Well, I know the Lich told us to that they might be a good place to go, but I forget exactly what he said would be.
It's to learn more. It's because we don't know necessarily who the god was that they were trying to summon. We don't know. We don't know enough about the history of the place for us to actually like deal with what we have to deal with here. Darius kind of says, I don't know. I think we should both bring up that we saw a fire and that we needed someone to figure out what happened to Zeus, as well as bring up the Godseed.
We had hoped that your fire meant that there was that there were people here and someplace safe that we could go to wait until he wakes up. We've encountered dangerous creatures down here up until this point, And
This part is one
Also-
that I will assume Darius doesn't necessarily automatically translate. He says, "You I trust at least a little, but he looks just like them."
just does Darius translate?
Who is he talking to?
He says to Darius that he trusts you, but that like Lork looks just like them, which, you know, depending.
I guess. We're from beyond, past the entrance in here. We from where we come from, his kind are called Dragonborn, and they are very common.
What did he say?
He says that he trusts me, but not you, because you look like the things.
Like the certainly not with
I mean, a little more, I guess. I don't know. I've been traveling with him out of this area for I don't know. It's been years at this point.
a year and a half at this point.
If you at all trust anything related to me, then you would trust him as well. Although, I don't know, whatever. He kind of mumbles a little bit afterwards.
Yeah,
I'm
and he
sure
says,
part of
and
it-
that I still don't, but you alone can approach and tell us what's wrong.
He is going to approach.
He's going to lean over and say in verbiage that gets translated very much such that you understand that she is his daughter. You need to be essentially just, you're going to be very, very careful. And he keeps his bow very, very ready to be drawn.
Darius is going to very curtly bow as he as he gets to the front area. Hello.
He looks at her father, he translates, and then just, you know, what is wrong with him?
With him, when we first came down here, we were, or more specifically, he was targeted and assaulted by whatever those creatures are. They tried to take him away, well, injuring us to the point where we couldn't follow, but we managed to get him back.
He translates gently for her, and then she says, "May I try something? We have sometimes they perform a great dream that leaves targets." It doesn't say targets, that's me being a goober. That leaves people in a deep slumber. May I try something for that?
We are at your mercy.
She reaches into her pack and pulls out a few pieces of a crushed mushroom and puts them in Zeus's mouth and then underneath his nose. Zeus, you end up going straight from your dream, which is currently very tranquil if boring, into feeling like your head just got lit on fire and lurching up off of the ground straight up and sitting upright and just being very like,
oh god, oh, am I moving normal? Zeus just waves his hand in front of his face as fast as he can to see if he's moving normal speed again.
Yep, you're good, dumbass. He kind of gestures around him a little bit. Read the room, please.
Read what? What?
As you turn and you look into her eyes, and it's just like, wow, she's beautiful. And then you're like, no, wait a minute, later.
Literally, I go Sanji mode for a moment. I go no. Sorry. Where are we?
we followed a smoke trail to find a place to, I don't know, sit you down, try and figure out what was going on with you. As he kind of like raises his eyebrows a little bit, as pretty clear that we found out and were able to get you awake, but I think your expertise could be helpful here in communicating with more than just the ones that to use the scroll.
As the man now speaks, Zeus, you're able to understand this generally, like any of the parts that are very specific details you will be lost on, but the general concepts are things that the verbiage has evolved to be similar enough.
Gotcha.
Now,
Zeus
you
is
said
gonna look over it.
you said you
Oh,
have
sorry.
medicine?
More specifically, we have ways of healing. I and he gestures back towards him, Lorik, are paladins. We have healing magics.
He looks a little more tense than the girl on the right side, starts to hide behind the wall a little bit. The bow gets very slightly drawn. So you are servants of gods, then?
No. Those are clerics. Paladins follow their own code. Sometimes they might gain their powers from gods, but in no way are they necessarily bound to them in the way a cleric is. I personally have had many too negative run-ins with a god to ever serve one.
He just takes a deep breath and completely lowers his weapon and just sighs and says, "Go ahead then, approach. She's fallen into a slumber, one that ours has been unable to wake, and we believe she's dying. And I would be a fool if I were to hold this up any longer. If you wanted to do something, you probably would have done it by now, so please help her."
He's going to nod and make his way forward. I assume they're talking about the older lady?
Yes. He looks over to Lorik. "Are you the last one? Is it just the three of
Darius,
you?"
what did he say?
He's asking if there's more of us. Darius kind of turns. There are. We just didn't want to approach with a large group and alarm you.
Alright, make your way in then.
And Darius is going to say, "Rifter, don't scare them, please."
As that happens, you just see as
Turn off, come on.
you just see Rifter kind of like protrude out from Darius's shadow, like
Fucking dumbass. God damn it. Alright, well. So,
He's going to
Rifter, real quick, what's your AC?
17.
Alright, well, you get shot with an arrow.
Oh well.
You
that sucks.
take 13 damage.
I'll live with it. I react to that, taking 7 damage. I'll have you know.
Darius, you deserve that, dumbass.
Does Darius
I
do
didn't-
anything
it would
else
scare
as
me
he
easily.
starts to draw his second shot?
Darius's hands are just up, if Rifter gets shot for this, Rifter gets shot for this. Darius explicitly warned him.
I didn't think that would scare them. I genuinely didn't.
realizing out of thin air.
I
Zeus is
did
gonna
not think
get
that
up
would
and
scare
move
them.
kind of next to Rifter and be like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa!" Trying to translate as best as possible. Sorry, look, he's not from around here. He normally that's a normal way to approach.
Alright.
I didn't think that would scare so easy. My bad.
It's like, hey, don't just
like-
appear out of thin air. Maybe you should like go do that, somewhere else,
Well,
and then walk around the
if you
corner.
pop next to them, then yeah, I can understand. But I'm within the group.
There's only one other.
It was just me
We have
in there
spent
with them.
literally like 30 minutes trying to.
Yeah, I'm next to my friend. I didn't pop up next to him. I don't.
Their
This is a-
defensive
I
line.
cannot understand how I
We're not
don't
getting
fucking.
this.
Yeah,
Being like,
I don't care.
yes,
I don't
me
care.
being 10 feet away from seeing every single member of their party, but I'm not in their group. I'm not in their group.
I'm next to my friend. Yeah, I didn't pop up next to him.
All right, whatever. What happened has happened. Let's just play it out instead of arguing about it.
He almost loses a second, but is softened by Zeus actually speaking words that are at least somewhat understandable.
Our apologies. He.
Is your other friend as strange?
No, not nearly.
Oh.
No, he's much calmer, much more similar to as he sort of gestures towards the older woman who's ill. Much more similar to this one.
Are there any other surprises?
We have a slime.
He rolls his eyes and helps her back to a pouch. Go ahead and make your appearance.
I'm gonna round the corner, trying to look older than usual, kind of like leaning on my staff more than I would, and
Wise.
then have the slime behind me.
Very wise.
Rifter, just so you know, I thought that was very cool.
Thank you.
Very cool, very stupid.
I didn't think they would jump so easily.
As you finish doing that, you cough up a little blood as you are suddenly starting to feel the entire toll that your body is currently under. You are in very no good condition.
Oof.
It's starting to catch up to you. There's a piercing headache that goes in sort of a V shape from the front, just above your brow, all the way back to behind your ears.
Is this similar to the pain I was feeling before the fight?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. Oh, not feeling great, Lord. It seems to be some of the same feelings.
It is like that, but much more minor.
Got you. Better than before, but not great.
Darius, can you ask for permission for me to heal Zeus?
Sure. I mean, he can understand you, but
Right.
Is that something that needs his permission?
I don't want to give them the wrong ideas about my magic. I don't want... They don't trust me. I don't want to give them a bad impression.
No, you don't.
Alright.
Obviously, Zeus and Darius are the only ones who understand that, but
Darius is just going to approach the older one. Now that things have resolved again, he's just going to say, I hold absolutely no negatives against you for what you did to him. He completely deserved that. As he kind of kneels down next to the older woman. And he's going to kind of look towards him, like kind of sort of asking for final permission. Like with the way he's looking at him.
his right arm lifts up a little bit.
Okay. As he's going to he's going to start with doing 5 lay on hands points normally and 5 lay on hands points to like cure poison or disease or whatever the effect type is.
As you do so, you're able to see that there are, now that you're closer, now that it's actively changing, there are many, many parts of her body where her skin has sort of been pulled apart and it's leaving almost like just raw flesh underneath, that even though it was already as dark, it's sort of pulling together now more, but it only does a small amount of it.
Okay. In which case he's going to continue putting healing into her. He's going to do another 10 and see how that changes.
Assuming you do the same thing, you end up using around 35, if you have that much.
I do.
Right now. Okay.
I have all of them because I haven't used any since the last rest.
Her body is in complete state now, but she is still at rest. The shumite on her chest coos gently and like sort of does a little twirl of her sitting back down on her chest.
Darius is going to turn to the guy, the man again, and say, I think I might be able to do more. Let her rest easily. It's a little bit more convoluted and odd, but if I have your permission.
How convoluted?
I myself will also be asleep for the duration. Or at least for a small period of time.
Then do. Alright.
Darius is gonna nod, and his head, like, he as he says do, like, his head is already slumped and he's asleep.
So, the rest of the party has a little bit of time. The girl is currently having a conversation with Zeus that none of the rest of you can understand.
Classic.
Zeus pulling as always.
What's the rest of the party gonna do?
Lork is going to wait patiently next to Sternhoff and Rifter, trying to appear as non-threatening as possible.
I will just wait patiently.
What's Bird Brain doing?
Appearing out of another...
I was muted. I said Rifter walks over to Lorik and he holds up his nicked thumb from the arrow and he just goes, Dad!
Walk it off.
But Dad!
It builds character.
Oh, you are not a good parent.
Luckily for him, even if he had kids, he wouldn't have to be.
Rifter just suckles on his thumb and he's like, shows how much you care. And he's being a bit of a prima donna about the whole thing.
Zeus, if you get the chance, could you, actually, Zeus, could you translate for the, for a question that I intend to, ask? Translate the answer, that is.
Yes, of course. Give me 1 second, very fast.
Of course.
They say a few more words to each other.
Zeus, translate.
Hit the translate button.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I only read the end bit of that just now. That's pretty good. He's just going to, because I'm really slow at typing, he's just going to say back, he'll be fine. Again, I appreciate your concern. You know, he's just a little bit, you know, we're trying to get him acclimated, or we're trying to get him accustomed to people still, but he's quite friendly, very kind.
Zeus, are you ready?
Yes. I'm just going to tell her. Excuse me 1 moment. I would love to continue our conversation.
Go ahead and do your stuff between the party. I'll wait.
Yeah.
Lork's going to turn to the ranger guy and say, "You said that I look like," and he does air quotes, "them." Who are they?
Like, what do you mean?
When Darius did the rough translation of not trusting Lork because Lork looked like them.
Yeah.
Just, you know, having tendrils out of your head.
Yeah, fair.
Ah, yeah, that'll do it.
That is reasonable, but unfortunate.
Yes, it's quite a little bit motivated, but I don't know the scope of what they have seen.
Well, from the little bit we saw of them, that having suspicion of anything with even a passing resemblance would be reasonable.
Yeah, tendrils, having like scaled armor as part of your skin, those sorts of things. Alright, Darius, you wake up having successfully managed to mitigate some of the things. It took a little bit of time, but it was ultimately nothing even trifling. Just a matter of
All right.
figuring out what the problem is.
Got it.
She's currently still asleep and will be for just a touch longer.
All right. I've done what I can. I think she should be all right now.
I hope she is.
So
Tell
why
me.
are you? Oh, pardon.
Tell me, are you the ones who are the new enterers from yesterday?
Yes, we are.
For Zeus specifically, the word yesterday is a funny little word that is just one that means shortly before.
Zeus is going to relay this, just kind of, just to be whisper in his ear, just kind of be like, this, it kind of means like this kind of thing, just for full context.
But yeah, yes, we are.
Right, I forgot that spell doesn't translate nuance in language.
Yeah, it kind of makes it so that in a way that Darius would understand rather than in a way that's accurate to the exact meaning.
Mm-hmm.
And, they don't really have a word for yesterday, so.
Yeah, that would make sense given Underdark.
Mm-hmm.
We just recently came in. Yes. It wasn't too long after our entrance that we were first assaulted. It was strange how they specifically targeted him as he kind of gestures towards them, and they brought a lot of whatever those bugs were.
There have been a few times where those in our group have been ferociously hunted for it. And often that meant that he's dangerous. So tell me, why are you and your dangerous friend exploring a horrible place like this?
Well, we've learned some things about this place that at this point have changed part of our initial reasoning. Would you like to know why we originally came in here, or what our goals are now?
Both.
We originally came in here because the older one back here has been a magical researcher on the nature of life for their entire life and seeks to finish their master's work. They found out a lead that there would be answers here, and there have been so far. And what we plan on doing now that we've seen more of what's actually going on down here. Have you seen or spoken to a lich before?
He just rolls his eye. Yes, and I'd hope not to again.
He helped us when we were assaulted, helped us save our friend here.
Well, that seems to be the only thing he's good at. He likes to fight. He likes to go to where there's problems, and every time we see him, it's because there's a problem.
I understand why that might be, not someone you'd want to see then. But, with his aid and a little bit of, searching through while he was still unconscious as he gestures towards Zeus, we found some information about what actually is happening here, and we'd like to know more and potentially solve the problem if we can.
Yes, and if I may interject for just a moment, you referred to this place as. He's going to kind of look at Darius. The word was dangerous, but perhaps valuable is a better understanding of it. What do you mean by that?
Oh, so that was just a timing thing for you? When he said you're
Gotcha.
they only come after people that are dangerous?
Oh, we are dangerous. Sorry.
And
Okay,
so,
never mind then.
and so he's saying that you are valuable, Zeus, because
Gotcha.
if he's going after you,
Zeus is like, well, of course.
just like, oh my.
Oh my. Continue. Sorry.
So then that leads me into my, I think, final current question in, do you know what the God Seed is?
He explains briefly and expands on how the entire concept of it is, the only thing he knows is that it's part of an old story about them being here as part of punishment for trusting on the gods. And so they sent just a fraction of themselves down to punish them for it. And that's what they call the God Seed.
Do you know where
We
might find?
if you're wondering about the like the specific name, it is in fact Etorkia, which I can type out again if you would like.
Okay. The specific name of the god, you mean?
Yes.
Okay. I don't mean to bring up past history that caused your people so much pain, but who was this Etorkia? Or if I'm mispronouncing it, I'm sorry.
He ultimately shrugs. All I know is that it was a god that they had prayed to after what supposedly was a failed hunt. Zeus is able to more accurately translate that as failed harvest. Which, and supposedly they would save them from that problem, but, and then he looks around and just gestures. Now we're much more part of the hunt. We are the ones being hunted instead. So perhaps that's our folly.
Do you know any that might know more about the history of this place?
One more time?
Do you know any of you, and he, like the implied of you, that know more about this place?
There are a few that, and then he stops completely and he just gets down on his knees as she starts to wake up, and she just has all of his attention. And she's going to for a good few minutes. It might be a good time to do something else for a moment.
He's going to kind of turn back as his attention is moved and kind of move back over to the group. Are you feeling all right, Zeus?
Yes. I'm having a.
Would you mind rolling me a perception, an insight real quick, Doris?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep,
4.
that's very true. So what Darius and the rest of the party doesn't get to see is, or doesn't pick up on, is that Zeus's face is slightly greener than normal.
I am. I'm. He's going to switch back to Elvish for a moment. I'm so sorry. Can you give me just a minute again? I have something important to talk with my comrades. It takes her hand for a moment, but I very much once again like to continue this. It's just sensitive things here.
You get affirmation for it.
Cool. He kind of lets go of her hand. Darius. She when we were talking, I was talking with her. She said something strange. She said that the way I spoke Elvish sounded like the way her grandpa tried to imitate his father. And then I asked her, because obviously this is a different space. I asked her how they would refer to the current year as, and she asked me what is time.
Clearly time exists here, it's just the passing of it is different.
Well, he's going to get quieter and kind of leaning closer. I mean, time is change, yes.
I would say so, yes. Time is the epitome of change, is it not? It is what allows change to exist in the first place.
Is this... I mean, I don't know what you all put together while I was out, but... I mean...
It was one of our theories, yes.
Okay.
I haven't had a chance to speak with him yet. I was planning on doing it at some point.
Do you
For
think...
Strunhoff, something he knows is that this was many thousands of years ago that it was sealed. Like 4,000 years ago at least, if not longer.
Sheesh.
And I would point that out to the group.
Oh, I know this place was ancient, but that's order of magnitude longer than my people have been around.
For Zeus, something you would know as a guy who tries to do language things is that language should have easily been completely unrecognizable by this point.
Wouldn't that be also partially mitigated by the fact that elves live so long and thus their generations are heavily spaced out?
Depends.
Zeus will share that information, but yeah.
Well, all that means is that time must pass slower here to some extent.
I mean, would we know what it's like for time not to pass?
Well, I think if any of us here do, it would be you, Zeus.
Fair. Well, I can... Okay. Do we have steps, just taking it one step at a time, or...
Does Zeus want to ask what the party got up to while he was out?
Zeus will ask what the party got up to. By the way, what the fuck did happen when I was out? Just curious.
We were trying to research a way to free you, and also at the same time trying to research the icon involved in the Godseed's creation.
Should we make any? I mean, we made headway on one of these things, obviously.
We know a little bit.
And we know their name for the god that they tried to summon. We just don't know what that would be in our understanding of gods, and I couldn't find anything in my library.
What did you say this god was a god of?
You were the one who had the list, Lorik.
All right. Lorik is going to quickly refer back to his notes. Jesse?
I can ping that for you in just a moment.
Okay. Thank you.
Pretty sure. Thought you typed it in chat at some point, Lorik.
Alright, here we go. It was the god of growth and alteration is the way that you translated it with the very literal translations.
Translate, so true.
And this was
Does he still
this
have
is
that?
same Air Torcha god, or
It was only like half an hour ago. Or like an hour ago, right?
and it was the same name?
Yes.
Or Ertortia or something.
Ertorcha.
Ertortia.
It kind of, I might be wrong on this, maybe sounds kind of like the elven god of agriculture and seasons and rebirth and such. Maybe I'm wrong on this. The life shifter is a way to say it.
Is that another name for Shantea? I know that's one of the gods worshipped in the Empire.
Let me consult my brain, DM.
Concepts of gods, even though they are physical things, it's not like there's always clean one-to-ones because gods are complicated beasts.
Gotcha.
Sometimes a single worshipping god might be two different gods that simply manifest as the same thing given the psyches of a single species. Or sometimes a single god might be so important to a species, multiple different parts of its personality become gods upon themselves when they make themselves known. Things don't translate very cleanly. Give me a religion check. We'll see how well you're able to handle it.
Alright.
Okay.
Yeah.
You would know that there's some stories about how the two of them may have had like a children together, but that might have just been more of like a not synchronization. What's it called? Syncretism between the two of them, and less of an actual, geological fact. There's also ideas that they've worked together, but for the most part, when they are talked about together, it seems to be just that, together, rather than as the same thing.
It seems to be separate, but friends, potentially. Some of it could just be, stories, but potential allies of some kind.
I mean, I would prefer to keep myself more on the down low, but I could potentially, I don't know, make contact. If it comes down to it. I'd prefer we find things out on our own for now, but we do have that resource if there's nowhere else to turn. The quite literally Deus Ex Machina.
Darius Ex Machina.
Darius Ex Machina.
You can't spell Darius without Darius.
I can go back to, probing for information. Ugh, I know, terrible.
Are you trying to pull down here? I just have to ask.
No, I'm not trying to fool.
Are you pulling down here?
I might. Who's to say? No. We got a mission in front of us.
Yes,
also,
that's what I was going to say.
I don't want to mess up the day. we just talked about all these serious things. Darius, how could you even insinuate something like this? Come on, man.
Because I know
Get your
you.
head in the game.
You just woke up. I know you.
Sorry, maybe I'm just trying to deflect all of the horrible eternity, world-ending thoughts away from my brain.
And I'm just trying to deflect the worry that we felt for you when you were gone. Let's
You were worried?
like you said, let's keep going.
Okay. Zeus kind of is taken aback half a step when you specifically say that you were worried, and it's like, okay.
There's just a little confused look on his face when you step back. Like Darius is gonna like look at Lorik like a little confused, like with his hands like slightly raised, like.
Didn't realize we were. All right. I guess we're a team. That's good. Good to know. All right. I'm going to get back to this. All right.
Lork is going to look askance at Zeus. Are you alright?
Yes. I didn't realize we were that close. I don't know. I felt like I don't know. I didn't really have a moment where I don't know. I realized we were that close. I feel like that's not really happened. So it just took me back a second.
Rifter kind of walks over and he just gives him a small bump on the shoulder and he says, "Mate, we've been fighting life and tooth and death and all that for a while now. You're part of the
Why?
crew."
I mean, we did cocaine together, so I mean, you and me, we're thick as thieves, literally. But
Baines, you got me there.
Hell, you even asked us about romance 2 days ago. That's not something you do with people that you're not close to.
no, I was just probing you guys. I wanted to see what was to try and pull pranks on you later. That's all I was doing that for. Is what Zeus thinks he believes.
I just
Party
Based off
cool.
his. Hey, look, Zeus forgot. You guys were close. He literally got that strip from him, so he's made up things in his mind as to why.
Ego intact.
Yeah.
he's so true. I expected the walk home would have been enough, but I
What
guess I
walk
still
home?
have some
What walk home?
in the snow.
What?
Remember when we first got back to the home? We first got back home, and we were walking through a blizzard, and I was heating us up, and Spoonhoff was, pushing away the wind.
No, we just teleported home. We just went straight to the house. We were just in the house.
No, we all walked. It was over an hour of walking that we were talking.
All right, buddy. Nice try. All right, you try and get me with all this stuff, and then you. pull one
Darius's
over.
face is like actually concerned at this point, and he's looking at Lorik.
Let's not crowd the lady. Hold on. Let's do this over here. Hold on. I'm so sorry. I don't want anybody else getting shot here. All right.
The lich, look, kind of talking past Zeus at this point. Darius looks to Lorik. The lich said that they take memories, right?
I didn't think that those things had been in him long enough. Is that how they do that?
I don't.
It would explain why, what happened in the tower.
Gods above.
Oh, that means it's clear that he's still intact mostly. That means it must have been, I don't know, specific moments. It's weird that it's only that.
Well,
But
I'm sorry.
that means
that
they
has
must have
nothing to do with him, with them. So when would?
So that means one of the memories that was taken must have been one of them.
And
Or at least attempted to be taken.
when was the last time that we interacted with them? With only time with Zeus, right? Was that?
I'm sorry, what's happening here?
Do you know where your brother is?
Not here. Not here.
Darius kind of like covers his mouth for a moment. You're right. You're right.
So, Zeus, what you gonna do with these work colleagues of yours?
Well, I don't know. They said they care about him. New core memory formed. I don't know. All right. Let's take a chill pill, y'all. Don't know what you guys are talking about. I mean, we'll talk. You said this. We'll talk about this later.
Not later. Just not here. If we. Could you ask for us to be excused for a moment while we discuss some things off to the side?
Yes. Zeus is going to kind of step forward, kind of pipe up. If you would please excuse us, we have things to discuss. Personal matters of my illness.
She looks over to the family and how the two of them are smiling at each other, how the young girl is kind of chuckling out of glee, just being glad that mother has survived, and I don't think they'll mind.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just gonna nod a little bit. Kind of quickly walking out and south.
Lork is almost going to bodily drag Zeus with him.
I can walk.
Darius rounds the corner and then immediately turns around.
So, Richter, what are you doing?
I guess I'll just follow them.
We're gonna come back. They're all gonna be dead.
So true.
Okay, everyone surround him and pressure him. Make him as uncomfortable as possible.
So Darius is going to turn around and say again, or not say again, say, so what I asked.
Zeus is going to think in his head for a moment just to make sure I get this correct. He still has the memory of Dyer being taken, just not the
Correct.
Nidhogg fight stuff. Yeah. So this is going to kind of go. He was taken there. I don't. Yeah.
So you
But-
remember that.
Yeah. But then I just kind of contracted you guys come with me, kind of vibe, and you guys were like, "Yeah, you're so great."
Where
You
did
had
we go
already
from
been
there?
traveling with us by then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like we weren't close.
Do you remember why we were where we were when he was taken? I just don't.
Yeah, we were in that like port town or whatever.
Okay.
And what
he
happened next?
remembers you gone.
What do you mean? I mean, we could do this all day. What
Where
happened
did
next?
we go next? I just want to follow from that moment up to now. Where did we go after that?
We went to your home
No.
town. No. Wait, I'm actually just forgetting. Hold
Wait,
on.
yes. Hold on.
Yes.
Hold on. You said you home. Okay, our home.
Your home. Yeah. Your
Okay.
Darius, you.
Okay, and then from there.
And then we went down into this. There's that guy in the temple. We went down. We went into a dream place. Got super powerful. I got super powerful. We killed the dude. Killed Nidhogg. And yeah. And then rest of stuff happened. We went back. Teleported in the house.
You're missing a few steps there.
But we
I
didn't
mean-
teleport to the house.
I forget. Did Zeus ever tell Darius what the wish was? I feel like there was a moment where he did at some
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Zeus would also say, "Oh, sorry. Also, I wished you into becoming a god because
Okay.
I needed to use you." Yes.
I'm sure.
So
Yeah.
it seems
You
like
guys
one-
have just been pretty peachy towards me since. I just thought you guys were good at taking orders. I don't know.
So then, you clearly don't remember the walk home.
When did you and Dyer meet back up with us?
Several months ago, after we had taken care of stuff with our family.
Right, but to be more specific, where did you meet back up with us?
It was a forest, and there was that big old demon thing you were fighting.
Mm-hmm. That's good enough.
And what's missing? Why can't he... All of the core things seem intact. Why the walk home?
I don't know.
Maybe that was important to him. And that's why they took it.
Maybe.
If that's true, then that explains why they would prioritize that one.
But then what memory did they take of them? They're...
The only time we've been with Zeus that we've had a memory, I think, of them was when he was taken. Right?
I mean, unless it's not a memory of them they're looking for.
No,
Oh.
but there's a reason that you got stopped, right? The reason that he
Right.
tried to take you as well.
I mean,
Yes.
that would be why you were the only one that had that happen.
So clearly they probed around in your head and got onto something they weren't supposed to. And that's the only...
Maybe they didn't take something, but they don't need to take something in order to gain
To
knowledge.
find it.
Yes.
Alright.
I mean, this is a lot for me to take in that I just
Right.
don't remember things. Obviously,
Apologies.
I don't know what I don't know. No, it's fine.
I
I
mean-
don't know what I don't know. But
So, you know how much we've been, like... You and I have teased each other non-stop, made constant jabs at each other, like, every waking moment, correct?
yes,
Do you remember when I talked to you about why?
yes. Because you were like, it's like looking into a mirror.
And do you remember your response to it?
For some reason, I'm having trouble with that slightly. Maybe this is connected to the snow thing? I don't know.
Yeah, when we were walking home, we had a very long time for us to all talk to each other. We had moments where we would talk, like, honest with each other after my initial ascension, when we had nothing else to do but talk, pushing through the snow. I mean, I think the best I could do is just, next time you're asleep, I can show you, I can recreate the scene from my memory. I don't know if that'll help you, but
Will I remember? Will I hold on to that?
I don't know. I don't know what they did or what happened, but
Well, that
clearly
can't be
that
the
one's not there anymore.
that can't be the only thing they took, though, right? I mean, there must be something else.
That's the thing, it's kind of hard to find
Well-
memories that are missing.
Well, what are the biggest things that we've done as a party? What's just like the craziest stuff that, like, obviously I would remember?
Well,
I mean, you kind of already said the big one. But I think maybe we're going about this wrong. Perhaps they didn't just take memories from us, but memories from your life. Just things that you held dear to.
and if some of those memories were ones that we weren't there for, then
We wouldn't ever be able to know.
I mean, do you remember me, I don't know, maybe saying anything specifically impactful at any given moment, or being really worked up at certain things?
I don't know. The most emotional I've seen you was when I was taken.
That
And
look
I-
okay.
Yeah, Fen, you you went to asking me first if I knew where he was. Is there anything else that I don't know that's happened to him?
I mean, I believe. Do you
Didn't
remember
the two of you?
Yes, I was going to say, do you remember my trip with you into his dreams?
I don't.
You and I took you to see him in his dreams and tried to make the dreams about fond memories of you and him.
That's
And you don't
good.
remember that?
No.
And that might be why. Because for him to be in that state, the context of that memory would relate to them, right?
I mean,
You would have to know that he's taken to know why we were there. I don't know. I'm just throwing things out. So, you don't. So far, it seems these memories are specifically interactions that you've had with me.
that's fair. I mean, but what if it's one of those things to where it's like, you know, you wake up from a dream and immediately when you wake up, you just don't remember it? I mean, you would remember it because, you know, you're the god of that stuff.
I don't. I hope we can at least get those memories back for you.
I guess it would be nice.
You're really not that different overall, but I don't know. There was a softness that's gone now.
Ew, okay, never mind. Don't put those memories back in my head. I think I'm good.
No, it's nothing. What I don't have the words for it. It's
Zeus, I just want to further make sure. Do you remember the promise I made you after Dyer was taken?
Your promise was.
I promised you that we would get him back because he was as much of a brother to me as he is to you.
Yes, sorry. Yes, that's coming back a little bit. It feels like some of these things you all say, it's like, I forgot in the moment, but I remember, but I feel like it didn't have as much weight. Like, that sounds like a very serious thing that I would take very seriously, but it feels like it's a little bit.
Maybe
You know?
certain things being taken out around them has made those other things more difficult to recall.
That would
But
make
those
sense.
memories still remain.
The context of the situation removes its weight.
Right. But that is part of why I was so shocked to hear you talk about hiring us on.
Yeah, well, to be fair, it was not with pay. It was just kind of like.
Right.
Yeah.
but it's a lot more personal to us than you made it seem like in that moment.
True. Man, how eventful was this walk in the snow?
No, that was long before that.
I mean, apparently it was eventful enough to be impactful to who you are.
And judging by the conversation... Actually, no, you remember that. Never mind.
All right. And just one more time, no more big arguments we've had. No more like, I don't know, big moments where I'm like, oh damn, they care about me, or like, oh damn, just nothing else I need to be filled in on our time. It seems like I'm up to snuff on everything.
Well, the two of us connected a fair bit over the fact that Dyer was taken, but seems to be mostly intact. Mostly, at least.
All right. Well, does any of this information help us in any way going forward?
It helps us know what was taken, at least.
All right. Well, we still have a mission. Dyer's alive, kicking. We gotta go get him, etc.
I suppose.
I have to use the bathroom quick. I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
Oh, wait.
No problem.
So do I.
A pisser. A pisser. A pisser.
Maybe when we get to a specific point, we can battle for it. We kill you, or you give us the memories back. We kill them
What?
anyway. The
Oh,
creatures.
sorry. For a second, I thought you were talking about killing me. I was like, whoa, now let's calm it down.
I mean, we could add that in.
hey,
Scratch it in, yes.
hey, you guys love me now. You guys are fawning over me.
Clearly, you don't remember that, so I mean, why would we?
Hey, I have a new memory now. You said you cared about me right there.
Sure. Are you sure that wasn't just a replacement memory from the memories they took?
Oh God.
Now I can gaslight you my heart's content.
Consent.
Now I can gaslight you to my heart's content.
I hope you at least remember how much of a pain in the ass it was to keep those things off of you.
Well, I was very dazed for most of that fight, so I will have to say, I would assume it was terrible.
It was awful.
Oh, I do remember you coming in badass, kicking them off me. That was pretty cool.
I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. Stunned.
Well,
Leave me alone! Stunned.
Stunned.
Rifter kind of blushes at Zeus's compliment. He goes, "Okay, well, okay, I guess you do remember."
Hey, rogues for life. That was the easiest bond to make.
I guess it was. Honestly, I wonder, what do they do with these memories?
Sorry.
I think that they would not be. Well, my assumption would be that they are consuming them, that it is nourishment. But clearly, if you're in trouble, they're gaining the knowledge.
Alright. You know, I just thought of something else that I hadn't thought of in a while, because back at the time I just dismissed it as a fabrication of where we were. Zeus, do you remember what you experienced in the realm of dreams?
Well, I
Specifically
almost fucking
before
died at
meeting with me.
full meeting. Yeah, we got sucked into this place, and then I just got cool powers, and then I saw you.
That's how you told it when I first met you. When I first met you, you were in a blind panic because you had seen a vision of them killing Dyer directly in front of you. And I had to talk you down and say that, one, they couldn't hurt Dyer in the first place because of the vial, and two, that it was more likely than not just a fabrication of Nidhogg's domain. designed to try and defeat us before we even met Nidhogg.
I'm sorry. Did you say he killed it?
You were in a blind panic.
Well, I think I would be.
Right. But as Darius pointed out later, when he took you to see him directly in the realm of dreams, Dyer was still alive. That
Okay.
was part of how we bonded in the realm of dreams before meeting back up with the others.
Do we know that's not... This is... Zeus is actually now visibly shaken. Do we know that's not a vision? How do we know that's true if what I saw before was not? I mean, I don't even remember this.
Okay, I think we found a third instance of a third memory that was taken. So there's now 2 memories taken that relate to them. Darius, Sternhoff, Rifter, what do you all think?
Well, first, I think he is alive. I do not believe that you need to be
Right.
concerned. But secondly, I think you're correct. I think this was another thing that was taken.
Oh no, I can't really say.
Okay, well, regardless of...
What do you mean, Darius?
I don't know, it's hard for us to really, at least in my eyes, identify what exactly and how exactly it was taken and how it changes him. It's just all the speculation on what it was. How does this help us?
That's what I was going to say. We need to find a path forward as quickly as possible.
Right.
Do they have information in there? We can... Were they about to give us information, or...
They were tending to the one that I healed.
Okay, what's our path forward? What direction do we go?
We should still talk with them more. We have more to learn in there.
Agreed.
Okay.
And I doubt that that's all of them that are living. Surely they are. I think they're probably just on a trip somewhere, maybe. They might have a actual town somewhere.
Well, let's ask to see it then. He's going to start walking back.
Now would be the time to heal him, by the way, Lorik. As he kind of...
Yes.
Zeus.
Yes.
Here. Lork's going to dump 2 points of lay on hands into him.
You said 50?
Yes.
Hawk.
5-0. Pretty good.
Pretty good. Back up to 77.
Do you
So
feel
true.
better?
I mean, I definitely feel better. DM, do I feel better in some of those other ways, or is it just like post-battle heal better?
A little bit post-battle heal, a little bit just generally feeling better. Importantly, your headache is not bad at all right now.
My headache is... that was good. Thank
It
you.
also, it has not been hurting for a few minutes.
Gotcha.
Upon seeing this, Rifter's also gonna hold up his nicked finger still. And he's gonna look at Lord once again.
Walk it off, Rifter.
Oh, Rifter, if you really feel that hurt by it, sorry, I thought you were getting healed. The woman in there offered to help.
Oh, sweet, thank you. Oh, glad I can trust her and not my stinky companion.
So true, bestie. I love that for you.
Oh,
Wow.
maybe, maybe she was right not to trust him. Oh,
God damn it.
Zeus looks around and finds a little note on the ground.
Off to go get cigarettes.
What the fuck? Hey there, I'll follow you. When you lay down for the rest, rest head. For the rest head just outside your camp, and we can talk some more. Have to get going for now. Mother needs to get back to the others. Pass the note.
What?
I can't read this. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I forgot note. I'm stupid. My bad.
I've still got comprehend languages on, right?
Yeah, I
It
can.
lasts for a full hour, as I recall.
I can probably read it.
It's like when you sleep or something, maybe. I don't know. Darius, what does this
How
look like
about
to
how
you?
about I'll read it with the magic and.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what that means.
Who's
I'm pretty
handwritten?
sure this is directed at Zeus.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. He's going to take the note back. Personal. I'm so sorry. I thought it was for all of us.
I mean, it is quote unquote for all of us, but it's more so directed at you. I think it's written by the girl you were talking to. Because it says mother needs to rest, so I would assume that she wrote it. I think what's going to happen is the next time that we sit down for a rest, you are going to head out. Apparently she's following us. Although I don't know if that's safe for her.
Decidedly not.
I would have liked to follow them back to their town. They had a lot of things we needed to talk about.
Should we head back to the Lich then, or?
I suppose so. He'll probably know more about where they might be located.
Oh, is he's still around? I remember that he was. He is still good.
Yes?
He helped us get you back from the squids.
Oh, that's good. Well, no, I remember that. I remembered all of that, but then I just didn't see him here. I wasn't sure if you fought him while I was passed out or something.
No, he just said that he would prefer to not come, that it would be detrimental to us because they don't trust him.
I mean, he's got the whole skeletal thing going on, so.
You racist.
I'm not
And,
right. Look, these people are racist towards Lorik, and he looks nothing like these squid things.
It's an understandable comparison, though, especially given how long ago this place was sealed off relative to how long my people have been around.
I'm sure.
What is dead should stay dead.
Spoken like a true warrior of death.
Damn. I suppose that recontextualizes that.
Alright, well. Oh, you said we should go back. Yeah, let's meet up with him.
So, as the party is walking back on their way back up to El Tower Reno, you have plenty of times to talk to each other about what actually happened while Zeus was asleep. Which you talked about a little bit, but you have lots of time to do it, and I think Zeus, Swabby as a character, would appreciate it as well.
I watched half of the VOD. I did try to catch up.
That's metagaming!
No, see, not for my character, just so then the explanation wouldn't have to be so long.
Yeah,
That was the only reason I was
cope.
Playback has been paused due to inactivity.
Amazing. So, immediately after getting you back from the squids, you started slowing down, much like the last time they intervened. We brought you back to the tower. I completely tapped myself out of what magic I had left, and Darius helped as well to stop the chains from getting to you in the first place. At some point, it seems as though you fell unconscious because of that. Or because of the squids, or both. After stemming the tide, we traveled down to this archive near the Lich's Tower. Did some research to try and figure out how to free you. Struenhoff combined several magics into one in order to free you. And from there, we decided to head north to meet with some of the inhabitants of this place.
Pretty straightforward. Also, thank you, Struenhoff. Your magic continues to impress.
Of course. What matters is that it worked, and we may have a future solution to, that problem.
Right. Well, very nice. Sounds like we have a lot of things we're figuring out. Is this library? Did it hold any other information about anything pertinent to us?
We were more concerned with making sure we could save you.
Oh,
We did find a little bit out about the Godseed, but
Now that he's back, though, it may be worth paying it another
revisiting.
visit.
yes.
I forget. No, you were already out by the time we discovered that the Godseed itself is an icon.
And that was a theory I knew. I think we were kicking around before.
Not a theory, something I've found in the library that I have on God-related things.
That's good.
While they were trying to find a god in flesh for some reason or another, they instead reached further and found a very concept of existence itself.
But we haven't figured out what that is yet.
We have a pretty good idea, given that we now know for sure what god they were trying to bind.
Oh.
It seems as though that god of growth and alteration is the one that they were trying to bind, which to me indicates that it may actually be the icon of change that was bound.
That would
If
make
such
sense.
a thing is specifically an icon.
Perhaps.
The party is about 2/3 of the way to the tower at this point.
Do we know how it is exactly that we're going to deal with this Godseed? I know that it's for sure going to be protected by more of those squid things, as you put them, Oric. But when we actually fully reach it, do we kill the flesh? I don't. I remember we had some thoughts about how to get it back into its place, but perhaps we need the aid of some of the gods that it is domaining over. I'm not sure.
Give me a moment to consider. You had said that once we found out more about the Godseed's nature, that we might be able to then devise something to return it to the wound in existence, but I thought that would involve you returning to the archives to learn more about the specifics.
I did plan on doing so. I just didn't know if we had any other ideas on it before I returned there. As of now, there's a lot of places and things I have to go, see, speak to, and do in Dream. But
I'd be happy to accompany and help if possible.
Sure, I suppose. I did tell you I would help you get in touch more with all of them. I don't remember all of their names, but the
Right.
Highborn.
And thank you for that.
Yeah, quite a few things. I mean, with all that I have to do, would you say that we should all go together then?
Mayhap if our friend in the tower isn't too averse to watching over us.
I mean, they
I mean-
weren't for a while. I don't see why they would anymore.
Things we fought, though, were pretty powerful. Do we not want more than one person on watch?
I mean, if something does go wrong, and with the way the tower is shaped, it's not as if they'll just suddenly be on top of us. If something does go wrong, I can wake us up very quickly.
Oh, okay. Good.
Does
It
this
might
mean we no
be-
longer need to be on watch?
No, because I won't necessarily be aware of when those things go wrong, but with any sort of minor watch, what it means is that I can instantly bring us to combat readiness. At least I believe so. We're not going to have anybody still asleep while one is awake, one currently waking up, figuring out what's going on while the watch is either fending off or running back.
Understood.
Point being, as long as the Lich gives us some sort of warning, once they see something going wrong, I can bring us back.
Mhm.
What do you think? What do you think the order should be?
I can't say for sure. I haven't really experienced this sort of thing, so I don't have a frame of reference.
Sure, but we've got a lot of things that I have to do. So, it's just what would you prefer to do first? There's meeting with your Highborn, speaking a bit with them, which is less immediate, but still while we're there. There is gaining more information on the nature of the God Seed. While we're in there, we should definitely speak with, Shantea was her name, correct? Since they were spoken of together, perhaps she will know something of them. To be realistic, even that her icon, since they are gods related to each other, it could be her icon as well that is here, although I'm not sure.
As you're a little ways away from the tower, the Lich waves you on in from upon one of the spots where he's been watching you for a while now that you're in range for you to be able to see him, and continues keeping watch around. You make your way up until you are once again in a place that, at least now, feels a lot less oppressive.
Well, we've got some things to do. I don't know what we want our course of action to be specifically. I don't know if you would like to come with us, Zeus, considering... I don't know if she's following us now, or... Actually, we could probably ask the Lich. I'm sure he would know.
Yeah.
He points out where he saw her last since he noticed that she came up. He's been tracking both of you for about half an hour. Both of your groups.
I feel really bad that she's so far away from. I mean, I should probably make sure she gets back safe as well. I feel like that would be.
The Lich makes a comment about how they are very good at avoiding problems.
Oh, okay. It's hard to gauge. Sorry, you go.
I'm sure that they have their own plan with speaking to you individually, but you should still bring up that they are welcome in here. Actually, I shouldn't presuppose. Are they welcome in here, as he kind of speaks past?
The last one I had in here took a little bit of stuff, so make sure that doesn't happen, and yes.
Alright. Then let them know that they're welcome here.
Alright. I will pop out to say hi and keep see what information I find and then report back.
We'll probably be asleep by the time you get back in. If you'd like to join us after you're done talking with her, fall asleep and I'll try and grab you.
Will do.
So what is Darius's first attempt? As everyone begins to sit down in different comfortable locations and imminently drift into the realm of dreams.
First things first, Darius is going to try practicing actually putting them to sleep instead of them just like falling asleep, considering we haven't really...
Yeah.
We did just take like potions to rest, so like he wants
it happens
to like...
pretty much immediately. It is super easy to do that on a willing target.
Okay.
Like, at this point in your career of god of deification is trivially easy even.
Okay. Then...
Nice.
That's Pog. Then we are, I'd say Darius collects them all up, brings them into a neutral point of the realm, and, like I said, we've got speaking with Frontea, we've got the library, we've got things with Lorek. While we're here, if there's anything else anyone else would like to do. Oh, I haven't addressed this. Just stand by for a moment, and Darius is going to try and call on the UNT that quote unquote redeemed.
Nothing happens.
Okay. I'll figure that out later when we're in more of a
While you're focused on the rest of the world around you here in your realm, you start to pick up that it's a little different. The practically endless corridor of different portals to each person's dreamscape is replaced by probably only about 1,000. Despite it never actually making sound in an audio sense, in a sense of how you feel it, it's as if the world is practically deaf. The entirety of your realm, rather than having the hubbub of millions of trillions of dreams from all across the universe, is only a couple dozen at a time.
So it really is isolated, although because dreams exist here, I still have domain here. Well, it looks like we're cut off from most of the actual mortal souls. I wonder how the influence of gods work here and whether or not we can actually make contact. Actually, why guess? Darius is going to bring them to what normally is the more royal area.
There are 5 pantheons. There are 5 ornate buildings, each for the purpose of housing one of a deity. This is far less than there are normally.
Well, we've got 5 here. Are any of them relative at all? Because they were able to break through with Lorik, are any of the, do I see anything that would be related to the Highborn?
Nope.
Is there a draconic pantheon or something of the sort?
There is not.
dear.
I won't lie to you, but I will tell you that Darius is not able to recognize any of them as such.
I'm going to have to say that we're probably going to have to wait for your stuff.
The important things are that, and that probably clues in Lorik a little bit that maybe it wasn't the Highborn doing stuff. So what ends up happening is that Darius is able to identify the 5 different pantheons around them. One is a god of like growth, revitalization, those sorts of things. Another is a god of lightning, a god of storms. Another is a god of indecision and temperament. Another is a god of the impassionate nature of changing life and like wild passions. And the last one is your good old buddy Hector's thing.
Oh my.
All 5 of the gods here are each different gods that have been pulled from the Icon of Change.
I'm sorry, when you said there were 5 pantheons, I thought you meant 5 pantheons.
Yeah, that's why then change should be like,
Okay.
well, excuse me, sorry, like structures of divine housing.
My bad.
Yep. I mean, it was my bad choice of word. I should have said, rather than just re-saying it, saying it, not pantheon. Anyway.
Well, I'm not sure if any of you would recognize it, but he's going to gesture towards one of them. But that is the one we're trying to rescue. That is his. And last time I tried to bring someone, they were entirely unable to.
Well, that just about confirms it then.
These are all, though, something related to change. The first one seems more related to, I think, what Zeus clarified as a more growth, farming-based change. More of agricultural. So that might be a good starting point. Now that I've developed a little bit more, I could try to shield you as I bring you in to visit him. At least I learned how to shield Rifter when we went to visit the Forge God. We have options here. I think at the end of the day we should probably visit all of them and learn as much as we can, but of the options, which do you think we should start with?
Well, perhaps visiting the god they were trying to bring down in the first place might be.
That's the
Might
thing,
be wise.
though. We don't know which of the 5 is them.
Well, judging by what they were saying, with Airtorcha being a god of harvest, mayhap that would be.
The agricultural-based one?
Right.
Aye. We'll go for that one first, as Darius kind of makes his way up the steps. Afterwards we should still look through the library, but I think while we have thoughts in our mind, questions to give, we should capitalize on our motivation. And he makes his way towards the, leading the party towards the first building, throne, whatever the big thing that houses the portal.
Sure thing. Give me just a moment.
No worries. Take your time.
As you do so, and you take your first step in to begin to prepare pulling the rest of them in, it is a different experience to any of the others you've done, in that normally there's that overwhelming presence of just the actual raw form of the divine that is something that you're able to be in tune with and feel, and that does not exist here. That presence that seemed to be the dangerous part of stepping to the divine just isn't.
Darius is going to pull them through, still shielding them, but like a little bit, like eyebrows raised or lowered, kind of scrunched. Excuse me, kind of like, what's going on? It's different here. There's no raw feeling of the divine, and the kind of thing that I would have to shield you from. Let's
Darius closes his eyes for a moment and figures out where to go and leads the party to somewhere where, in this abyss of black, is a small bit of a blotchy red. And as you approach this blotchy red, it is not the comforting kind.
What the hell is that?
I don't know.
Is it dead?
Is it standing up or laying down?
It is laying down.
Okay. Might be.
What the hell is happening?
Maybe this is a result of existing without an icon.
So is this sort of thing the same thing as the plane where Cassandra dwells?
Pardon, repeat that?
So then maybe this is the result of is the same thing that caused Cassandra's realm to look as it does, considering we know what it is in the first place.
I'm not sure. I just wonder if maybe this is why Andromache has done what he did.
Potentially tricking them into calling down the icon of change as a means of sealing away Hector.
No, I think maybe the reason he sealed Hector away was because of the summoning. At least my theory is if we continue through more portals and see more scenes similar to this.
So, wait, you think it wasn't a way to win against him like he was originally intended to? You think it was some perverse form of protection?
In a way. Maybe. I don't know. We don't have enough information yet, but like I said, if we go through more of those portals and see the same scene. If you had not the power to return the icon to its place, and your goal was to protect somebody,
Check the other doors then.
let's. As he pulls them out.
You leave the body of revival and growth and make your way to the next one, which this one is unfortunately one that I do not have an icon for.
A what?
Yeah, he gets it. He gets the joke. He gets it.
You don't have an icon for any of them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's no.
I get it.
I have an icon for one of them.
Ah.
As you step in, you do notice that there is a tremendous surge of energy indicating that this god is at least alive.
Well, something else is different here as he says as he pulls them in, actively shielding them, like, strongly this time.
It is intensely ferocious, even through most of the shields for everyone, except, notably, for Struenhof. As you step in, the immediate situation is one where all of the different aspects of the world around you are constantly flickering between different parts of the worst elements of storms, from sandstorms to thunderstorms to firestorms to just the worst blizzards and worst like winds you've ever experienced, all of which are tremendous and blowing at quite possibly thousands of miles an hour. Making your way to the epicenter of all this, it actually calms down a little bit, and you see there a dwarven figure which is currently chained into a series of bright swirled blue rocks, with each arm being restrained in one of those, and there just being this coursing going through the gods like skin and blood down. Very true. I agree with that, YouTube. Thank you. That is traveling through the skin and blood of this god down into those, into these twisted stones that then, like, and it feels borderline cruel to have it be like that.
Darius kind of averts his gaze for a moment, but then kind of turns his head back. Are they conscious at all?
Very.
Pardon, repeat?
Very. But they
Very
are not
conscious?
able to, despite any of your attempts to communicate, they are unable to do so. They are writhing in pain as that energy is traveling into whatever this construction is.
Darius is going to put his hand on Lork's shoulder. I'm going to do something stupid.
Alright.
He's going to make his way over, and does anything change as he gets much closer?
No. Yes, but it's in that it gets much gentler. The closer you get to it, the less the storm is active. It is the eye of the storm situation.
Can I place my hand on one of the chains driving into, or whatever the thing's driving into one of his arms is?
Okay, you can reach it.
Can I attempt to pull it out?
As you go in and simply touch it, Lorik would probably start running after you because you begin to collapse. You collapse pretty much immediately to the ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're barely able to pull back, but you just feel like exceptionally weak. Not weak, as in like you haven't been doing stuff and you're out of practice. Weak as in you've done far too much.
Whoa. What?
Like the exhaustion after a long day of fighting. The dwarf continues to scream. It screams like thunder and the vicious wind.
That's not something I can do as I am now. Oh.
Sure enough.
Mm-hmm.
Would you mind making me an Arcana and Religion for me? Alright, good enough. As you're here and observing the situation, you're able to put a little bit of two and two together, that whatever is going on here is probably somehow related to the entire problem of everywhere on Perun having storms currently.
Hmm.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Your character would be the first to make the connection that with like all of the exceptionally erratic storms that have been happening in Perun at literally everywhere shortly after starting to head back to Dugon, that this might have something to do with it. What to do with it, you don't know, but the fact that, hey, it's storms, you're in touch with storms, you're able to feel that, like, this energy is going everywhere when it gets absorbed through. You're able to trace some of that elements of lightning that just goes, and it goes everywhere, which is not which doesn't feel right. It's supposed to be something that goes somewhere, but not everywhere.
Lord, wasn't it storming at the stronghold before we left?
And at the outskirts of Charon-Cadian.
Mm-hmm.
And back at all Hectorum, but that was
And on
the
the
blizzard.
way back to Dugon. When we
It can't
left.
be a coincidence.
We teleported to Dugan, though.
Yes, but when we were in the city before we teleported
Right.
to Dugon, the terrible tempest that we had to seek shelter for.
Which, of note, Darius only ever knew, like, one that even got close to that while he was there, and it wasn't even that bad.
This can't be a coincidence. This has to be.
Something caused by... I don't know, the timing feels off, but... Did something happen when Nidhogg was killed?
The only thing I can think of is one person got a wish that we don't know of.
Paris?
Right.
Yes. But how they could do so much with the one wish, I don't... Both assault Cassandra and place this god in chains like... I don't know how we're going to resolve this.
Maybe he is Paris.
Pardon?
It's possible that Andromache is Paris.
Maybe. But nonetheless, again, I don't know how they could get all of this with just one wish. We're not helping by being here. We should leave. It's getting tiring to shield you. I'm already exhausted enough from that. I don't want you all to be torn apart.
Yeah, let us go.
Which of the three do you go to?
There is the one of life. There's indecision. There is the passions of life, and then there's Hector, right?
Yep. There's
We'll
a little
go down
bit
the
more
list.
detail to those, but like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
the general characterizations of it. That's acceptable enough.
We'll go with the indecision one first, or next. First, lol.
Sure. That one's a little weaker. It's not super weak like the first god was, but it's one where they it is fairly empty. You're still able to put up that barrier, and as you explore around, eventually you find one that is just simply a statue of a man crying.
Are you here at all? Darius just says out. Guess not. Seems so far something has happened to all of them.
There is a drop, the sound of a drip drop on the floor as a tear falls off of the face of the statue. He's currently clutching a dagger that is stabbed into its chest.
I'm already weak enough. I don't know if I want to risk grabbing that dagger.
Right. Don't.
But I don't know if we can save something. If we can get something on our side. Each of you, I'm going to ask you to leave, so if I do drop protection, you're not torn apart by something.
And what if something happens to you as a result?
I'll be fine.
The others can leave, but I'm not.
Darius kind of shakes his head, waves his hand, and they're all out.
Including Lorik?
Including Lorik.
Lorik, you are on the outside of a small, thin gray barrier, along with the rest of the group.
Damn it.
He's going to make his way up, kind of stand before the dagger a little bit. Hesitate for a moment, feel if there's anything like coming from the dagger at all.
More of just the same everything that's currently around you. It is not terribly intense like the other one was.
He's going to lightly touch the pommel.
It fills you with a sense of dread and disappointment and sadness. Of longing for things that should have been, of every mistake you've ever made in your life being perfectly and exactly clear to you, and all of the imaginations, be them realistic or complete fantasies, of how much better your life would have been if you chose a different path. And it all just hits you in a single second, enough for you to recoil away from it before getting completely enveloped by it.
He's just kind of sitting there, kind of looking down for a little bit. Maybe things would have been different if I had done things differently from the start, but what I can do is try and avoid another mistake. As he kind of looks up to the statue, avoid having to feel like this. Avoid this dread. Is there a way I can help you? God to God.
There is no response. There's only this, practically the sound. Imagine the sound that someone would make if they were banging on the room next to you through multiple layers of soundproofing that comes from the center of the statue.
Alright. Is Darius able to push through those feelings to try and pull out the dagger?
He could try, but I feel like I should warn you that this could be one of the non-canonical ends to the campaign if you do.
Okay, I will not then, because I have Darius luck.
Yeah, it would be one of those things where it's like, and that's how the campaign could end, but instead he didn't, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna just... What would I have had to roll? Don't tell me
I don't know. I don't know.
Outcome? Okay. Okay. Well, he's going to bring himself out as well.
He shunts right next to Laura. Give me just a minute. Y'all can talk to each other and have Laura get pissy at his man wife.
I'm just gonna just so I can see. Yeah, okay. I know. But see, if it was something that could have gone wrong, I backed myself up. See?
All right.
I
I'm glad you did.
I want you to trust me. I don't want, if something could have, on the low chance that it gone wrong, affect all of us instead of just me.
I just... This all seems beyond all of our comprehension, and... I would... It wasn't about it being you, it was about someone potentially doing something with something that we don't understand. I would have commanded to be there if Strunhoff or if Zeus had tried to pull that dagger out.
Maybe in the future, I will know more about this and we can do something else, but for now, we should just continue on. Try not make any more mistakes.
Right. So to go into either of the other doors, or...
I think we should check at least. There's only 2 left. It doesn't take long. We should. Maybe knowing more about what's happening to each of them will give us context in the future.
What's the worst that could happen?
A lot. Oh right, he's not here yet.
Yeah. I'm just a disembodied voice.
Is Zeus oh right, Zeus isn't joining us, yeah.
Yet.
I
don't
didn't
know
realize
how
it
long.
would be this big of a thing. I apologize. Zeus would have been
No,
here.
I didn't really either. I thought that he was, and also I thought that he was going to talk to the girl and then come back and go EP with us.
I mean, he can
Yeah.
EP now. He can
Okay.
probably
Okay,
Do you want?
EP
Do you
now.
want to EP now?
I would EP now.
Let's EP now.
Assuming
Yeah,
his
it's-
hands aren't full.
Yeah,
Oh, he's
Zeus.
just a little EP guy.
I mean, here's the thing: you don't know how long it's been, so you know, Zeus could potentially made a bastard. Who knows?
Hey, look, Zeus would be there, alright? Zeus is...
We'll see how that holds up.
Nah. Zeus isn't a first date kind of guy. He
here's
has to
the
trust
thing,
somebody.
Even if you don't make them a bastard, you're gonna leave them in half orphan when like they die when they were on, or when you die when they were only 30.
Hey, look.
Half,
Zeus is a protection, wait to the second, third date kind of guy. You know, he's a rogue. He can't
the
trust
half elf-
everybody.
The half elf be like, my father died when I was only 48 years old. I was barely old enough to form sentences. Man, Evan, when are we gonna watch that anime? That movie? It's a good movie.
When are we going to
is
continue
good.
watching JoJo? That's my question.
That's gay.
When we finish Overlord.
Stone never yet.
Anyway.
Fix that.
Anyway. Action.
So Darius says there's only 2 options left.
Passion.
Passion it is.
Passion fruit.
A
Oh, it's
gentle,
just like me, for real, for real.
a gentle red barrier holds it in place.
Pardon? What does that mean?
A gentle red barrier, like at the entrance to the area. Just
Okay.
the same as most of the other ones had their thing. Teleporter field barrier things, right?
Yeah,
The ones
okay,
that
so
you brace yourself for.
Darius shields them and
And as you step through, There is about half a second of just hearing 100,000 voices and then it being immediately over. It's not like you can understand each one, just as if you were in the center of the crowd of the world.
And then just shh.
And then perfect silence in a red haze that's not particularly overwhelming, but is omnipresent in every single direction. Darius is able to hear whispers.
Hello? He says out.
They speak up more, but it is not something that can be discerned. It is something that can be followed.
He will follow them then.
The party makes their way, and the whispers start to grow more intense, and eventually even the other members of the party are able to start picking up on it. It leads you to a small for the size of things.
Give me a second. Dogs are barking. I need to.
Man, my dogs are barking.
I'd like to have my dogs barking, if you know what I mean.
I'm a big fan of noise.
I'm a big fan of noise. You want to make some noise?
Okay, I should be good now. They're not Bjorken anymore.
Bjork. Hunden Bjorken. You make your way to what, at least compared to most of the gods you've seen, is a relatively small-sized chest, only the size of about 3 or so men. It has a cracked red leather on the outside of it, and a series of pieces of wood, or at least wood-like stone, holding it together. It is ornately decorated with gold.
Oh gee, it's Pandora's box.
From it, there are whispers and, at this distance, gentle screams. You are able to start picking out some of the words. Rifter, would you mind rolling me a perception for it? And also Shunov. Shunov still has his good hearing.
Still.
Yeah, still. Yeah, I say still as in, like, even when the curse took it away.
Oh, well, that shouldn't be an advantage.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean?
I mean, like, when the curse took off the eye patch, you still got to keep your enhanced hearing from it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I say still.
Okay.
You're getting
Not
older,
this time,
man.
though.
Not this time, though. This time, I mean, you're farther away. Rifter, you're able to hear as you're able to understand that the screaming part is just repeated, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this, this isn't what I want.
And just like me, for real, for real.
So true.
It is a cacophony of displeasure.
Seems like all of these have protections in place for them. I doubt that this one doesn't as well. Does the box look locked?
Nope. It's borderline slightly ajar on one corner, which is where some of the whispers and screams are coming from.
It seems like it could be opened.
I don't think that's a good idea.
I know, it's just all of these gods they're killed or imprisoned, and
I know.
if we do free one, it'd be an incredible boon on our ability to solve this issue.
If we aren't torn apart in the process. If they even have control or power while their icon is locked away like this.
Indeed.
We should go.
Good.
It begs out, please help us.
We will.
Yeah.
We just can't right now.
We'll be back once.
Richter, at this point, is the only one who can hear the screaming and begging as the party leaves.
What vile madness.
The more I think about this, the more I see what's happening here, the more I feel like I was wrong. I don't think Andromache protected Hector from this. I feel like almost certainly he was the cause of this icon to come here, to make it so that even if
That was
they
my thought
are,
in the first place.
even if they are unable to necessarily contain any of the gods individually, even if they escape, it doesn't matter. Change will not happen.
Right. Andromache's purpose was to try and best Hector, to keep Hector on his toes. And if you couldn't best Hector individually, then, well,
Let us see this final thing.
Well, his goal, you know, Hector was the one that made Andromache, right?
right. Right.
It
And he made him with that
wasn't-
purpose.
it wasn't to best, but to balance. The goal was never for him to be beaten.
Right. But to balance, there has to be some element of competition, some...
Maybe he misinterpreted his goals.
I don't know. I still don't know exactly why he was created. Cassandra never knew that. But
You were able to meet with Hector directly, weren't you?
at a certain point, yes, he...
Could you maybe ask him why he created Andromache?
Sure.
The rest of us should wake up first, just to be safe.
Alright. If you
Just
don't
in
want...
case we don't want... Just in case we get trapped here if something does happen.
He nods as he kind of gestures his hand, pulls himself out, and wakes all of them up in like one motion.
Bloink?
As he stands himself in front of the portal to Andromache's.
Yeah, you mean to
Or
Hector?
Hector's, excuse me.
Yeah.
Wonder if he'll remember.
And as you go there, it is a very similar situation to the first time. He stands over a small globe-like structure, one that constantly shifts under his hand's movement as he continues to build brand new worlds. And you are able to look fully upon him, being able to see more of what he actually looks like now beyond simply the enigma that he was the first time you visited.
Mm-hmm. Darius makes his way around, observing the world that he's creating. Oh, so true, YouTube. It is a wonderful world.
Oh, yes. Hello.
Hello. As he sort of curtly bows.
Oh, please, there's no need for that.
It's
I-
how I greet
I can-
everyone. All deserve a modicum of respect.
Well, I appreciate that. So
You
you
remember me?
I can't say I do unless you're just another form of Nidhogg, because you have the same feel to you.
No,
I would assume you've taken them out then, you've replaced them?
Yes,
Well, that's a welcome change.
indeed it is.
It's
As he
almost
sort of
exactly
smirks at that.
it is almost exactly the same conversation you had when you went previously, in that respect. As he moves around the small part of the globe that he's at right now, you're able to see is just all of these different spindles of himself just reach off endlessly into the abyss behind him.
I came here because I heard of you and your work and those around you, and I don't know if it's disrespectful, but you intrigue me.
Well, as a welcoming gift, since clearly you must have done it recently, oh, of course. It's one of my favorite things to do to change things, so might as well change your viewpoint. Whatever I can do to be a hero for you.
I appreciate that. I have spoken some with Cassandra, and it's how I originally gained the knowledge of you. And she told me of yourself and your creation in Dromaki.
Is she having a good dream right now? I hope it's, I
endeavor to improve it right now.
Well, sounds like we're gonna get along very well then if you're willing to do that. That is a welcome change.
Indeed. I know she spoke to me of your roles, how you are the changer, the creator, and he is a balancing force of some kind, but never why you made them in the first place. I assumed that there would be a god to balance you, not a creation.
We tried a few things, but it just ultimately never really worked out. If you want to tell her that, I'll just tell her tomorrow once we wake up from all this, I can, but I suppose part of it's that you want to know too, then.
Somewhat. I am a rather curious mind, and I find the better informed I am, the better the decisions I can make, the better I can help those around me.
That's very fair. He shifts some more of the water around for a little bit. How do I put this? I'm not very good at tending to stick to a plan. Back in the day, I'd cause a lot of problems. Whenever we tried to make a realm just right, I'd always forget about it halfway through, or focus on a different thing, or just never be able to finish something, you know? And that's what he's there for, to help be a counteracting force, like as you put it. But more than that, he's another son for him, and he's there to be my protector, right? He's there to keep me on the right path, keep me from doing something silly. One time I got real close to stopping any new planes from being able to be made, and boy, that would have been bad. Let me tell you.
Indeed. Well, it's
what
always
did you say
good
your
to
name was?
Darius.
Pleasure, Hector.
A pleasure. Another thing, I know it'll probably seem unrelated, but my mind is kind of racing right now. I am, as you know, quite a new god, and so the whole divinity thing's rather new to me. I'm not quite sure what it is or what it means to serve an icon and what an icon is to us.
What plane do you come from?
I mean, I don't necessarily know. We call it the material plane, but I don't know if that's what it's referred to the gods. The continent I come from is Perun.
He just shrugs. Well, I can't say I've ever heard of it, so I'll try to... That's probably got to be one of the ones from the periphery, then. Let's see, how could we... What would be a good way to put it? It's like a tree growing branches. The tree might not sway or be important to most things, but its branches are homes of life. It's free to sway in the wind as the situation around it changes, and sometimes may break or regrow. But ultimately, as long as there is good nutrition in its soil for the tree to continue to exist, it will continue to survive through the balance of both the faith of the soil and through the continued action of the gods. Does that work something sort of for you?
I think I understand. So, the icons are the absolute foundation for everything. Have they ever had forms? Have they ever been more than just presences?
Long time ago. Long time ago. Let's see. I'm sorry, I'm still trying to get used to your tongue. I know it's supposed to be something I'm very good at, but I haven't been practicing these last few days, so...
I could change languages if you'd like. as he kind of raises an eyebrow and smirks a little bit.
What? I mean, hey, that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Go ahead, change.
And then he swaps to Draconic.
And the conversation gets much cleaner. It's like, rather nice. So you did your research first.
Indeed. It helps that my root tongue, and he swaps to Yuan-Ti, is pretty similar.
He kind of recoils as you talk a little bit in Yuan-Ti. He's like, ooh, don't like that.
He swaps back to Draconic.
That's gross.
I'm not too fond of it either.
That is. Whew. Sorry, what was the question?
It was.
You know, this is why he's here. He's there to. This is why he's here. I'm
I understand.
proud of him. He's doing a great job.
It's again, this is a little unrelated. My mind is scattered. Maybe it's being in your presence that causes this, but I'm curious if you've met or talked with Tiamat or the other Draconic gods.
Who? Like, there's Terra and there's Celea, but I don't know. Don't know one of them. Sorry.
Oh. I was under the impression that they were gods. I guess they weren't gods yet. I don't know. Nonetheless, back to
No.
it.
There was something else. What? The wall in front of him crumbles apart a little bit, and he's like, no, and stops it crumbling and just goes along with that mistake, and that now there's like a chasm in that part of the wall. There was something else we were talking about.
The icons?
Right. Right, so getting used to your tongue. Right, okay. Old gods. They used to be old gods. But like one of the things Andy and I did was like it was really, they did not like it being real, sort of hurts a lot. So we helped them so that they became more fundamental, more like not
a living thing, but a piece of existence.
Right. I mean, they were always a piece of it. They were always a part of existence. They just didn't like. They didn't like having the tree have to gather the sunlight. They wanted to be able to spread out more. Like, it's... I am proud to be his servant and help him where he is, as are all of my brothers and sisters, but just... They wanted to rest. Most of them wanted to sit down, so all of them that could, we just talked to and helped find a way for them to be able to not have to put in so much effort on maintaining physicality anymore.
And how did you do it for yours?
What do you mean?
Bring them away from physicality.
I talked to them like 2 days ago. They're still kicking.
So yours is still physical?
His hand starts to fall into his head, and the globe in front of you begins to crack, but not in the same way as it did a moment ago when he lost concentration. Instead, it physically splits in half and is simply separated in like a sliding motion, like an earthquake, where the entire globe and its stools underneath are simply split in space. You start to get a little bit of that headache as well.
Oh.
What do you mean there? And what did you mean earlier that it kind of suddenly you start to have this crushing weight over you? For the rest of the people who are also awake, they're able to see that Darius is starting to physically sweat profusely despite being a Yuan-Ti.
What did I mean by what? As he's trying to like push through the headache.
You're not supposed to be here. It's a completely different voice.
And where, pray tell, am I supposed to be?
You probably get about halfway through that sentence and you are being choked. Lorik is able to see that he is violently thrashing in his sleep, and probably would be at the point that it's like, hey, yo, guys, we should do something.
Mm-hmm.
Rifter's gonna try to wake him up.
Nah, we leave him.
So
Lorik is going to try and cast like remove curse or something like that on Darius.
Doesn't even get cast. He just bounces off.
He's gonna try a cleansing touch.
Darius, you are being currently choked. It is enveloping not just around your neck with just a hand, but that hand is like growing around and growing tighter and tighter. It is starting to pull up along your chin and down along your chest as it's starting to envelop you as he is reaching out to you.
Is there anything I can do at all? Like, this is still, even if it is cut off, it is still my domain, right?
Yep.
Can I try and move out of his dream?
You shunt immediately out of it. It takes you a moment for you to start breathing again.
As he sort of like moves his head around.
That same tone of voice even outside it now, in one that is starting to sound much more familiar as Andromache rather than as Hector. There's another, you're not supposed to be here.
I am exactly, and I assume I start getting choked again.
And rather than being choked, just unable to breathe.
Oh no.
Can I try and like use what power I've gathered as a god from here to push him out of my realm? Like try and like in the same way I shunt others out, shunt him out.
You can. You can go ahead and try.
Okay. I assume you want a charisma like always?
Sure. You manifest from the tips of your fingers, 2 worms coil up your body and physically go around your neck and sort of form like they're choking you, but then instead of squeezing in, they start pushing out and you're able to start breathing.
This exactly, as he's starting to be able to breathe, is exactly why it's so hard to help you. Anytime anything goes wrong for you, you just jump straight to taking things. This is still my realm.
You start losing ground again. You get to a point where you're pushing it out enough that then like it starts closing back in. The worms and consequently your energy is starting to diminish.
I guess I have to try and wake up. I don't know.
If that is your choice.
I don't know what else I'm gonna do.
Then you
While he's
awaken
asleep.
immediately. You are sweating, which is an experience you have not had many times in your life.
What in the hell
Wet.
happened? Are you alright?
For now, we were right, I think. I was so close to getting an answer. How we could... I don't know.
How we could return the icon to existence itself.
In long times past, icons were things. They were old gods. They existed, and through speaking, I don't know, they came to terms with them on how to best return them, and I asked how they did so for their own, and they interrupted. He followed me out of that dream.
Into your realm.
Yeah. I had some degree of ability to fight back, but with how much the chains drove me into the ground, how much they sapped me, I didn't have much to fight him back with. I had something. I
Right.
was able to get some words out, but I'm not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be here.
That's stupid. That's your domain. That's exactly where you're supposed to be.
Well, he doesn't feel like it's true.
My domain. Maybe he doesn't think I should be the god of dreams. Maybe he doesn't
Then why
think
did he help you become the god of dreams then?
Maybe he doesn't think that the god of dreams should be in this place, as he sort of gestures around.
Hmm. Maybe, but that's all the more reason we should be here then.
I think given the reason for his creation, or at least what seems to be the implied reason, maybe it goes beyond any sort of, how you say, etiquette. That you are correct in the letter of what your realm is.
Rifter, it's hard to understand you when you speak so fast.
My apologies. In the letter of what you are, you're right, but he probably doesn't see it like that. You're negating the spirit.
Maybe.
Damn. The spirit.
Is Zeus back in the room?
Zeus is in the room, yes.
Okay.
All of you were woken up at about the same time, except for, him.
Gotcha.
We have to start.
Wait, you're speaking slowly.
Oh, fuck.
Rooster, say something.
Patagonia.
That's
He didn't check his text.
Oh, I didn't. I'm sorry.
Rifter's the power of not reading is so powerful.
I didn't hear any notifications. I'm sorry.
Here, let me play one for everybody real quick.
Yeah. I mean, I got you if you don't. Yeah, there it is. and suddenly Rifter hears the.
Oh.
Looks like we gave the game away.
Not yet. Not yet. Lork is going to try a last-ditch effort at trying to cast banishment on Darius specifically. If hopefully something works with that.
All right, Darius, do actually genuinely make a charisma save.
You got it.
Oh.
It's gonna be really hard for me to fail this.
Yep, I know.
Yo.
Nope, that's bad.
No, that's
That's
bad.
bad.
Oh damn.
Aw.
Darius being like, woohoo, an 18, and then being like, no, an 18.
What is your
Alright.
DC, Lorik?
19, maxed out.
I have a plus 16, so I would have had to roll a 1 or a 2.
Yeah.
Damn.
What's Gene Hoff or anybody else gonna do in this trying moment?
Probably start trying to prepare that spell.
Go ahead and give me a raw spell cast. See how it turns out if you try to do it.
Where's my thing?
Lork's going to slowly start trying to make his way over to Zeus. And going to recast Banishing Smite.
In the meantime, Rifter's going to try to use change to shield as many people as he can, himself and then Darius.
Zeus is also walking towards Lork, and as Lork starts to swing down his blade to try to do so, Lork just isn't there anymore.
Oh wait. Before anybody disappeared, I was giving other people time to speak. I wanted to try to do a cult relocation to get us all out. I forgot if this was a roll or not last time.
It is.
Oh, okay.
You
What
got this.
roll?
Just the 100.
D100.
Okay, D100. Alright. Is that good or bad?
That's
I don't know.
bad.
Okay, can I stroke of luck?
What's it say?
I'm trying to find it right now.
I believe it specifically calls out an ability check. Yeah.
Damn it. Well, hey, I'm using an ability. Damn it.
It's not an ability check, though.
Yeah, I
So,
know.
Lork, you're saying words to Zeus as you're going forward about to banishing smite him.
He's got one hand ready to make the strike, and another hand trying to dump Morley on hands points to make sure it's non-lethal. And I don't know if he's actually saying anything specifically, but he's looking at Zeus with almost intense pleading here.
And Zeus is able to see that as he goes forward and in slow motion, each of those changes appears from the wall. And once each of them has made contact with him, he's just not there anymore. everybody's able to observe as in slow motion, another one begins to reach out and is going for Rifter. You have a few seconds, Rifter.
I'm gonna try to use change to make myself alive and not dead.
So true.
He's imagining like a great shield, like a giant shield that is going to try to like block the change before they can attack it. Like a think the best example I can think of is like Pong.
Sure,
Ping,
okay.
ping, ping, ping.
Yeah.
Going back and forth.
Go ahead and make me an attack.
Oh god, not an attack.
Oh, you're making an attack though, and you know what that means.
That's true.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I don't
Change a
know.
miss into a hit because of stroke of luck.
That's a 30.
You're able to manifest that shield on one, maybe two sides at a time, and you still up for an extra few seconds. But whichever side it's not on starts to be able to reach through and slowly entangles you and stops you from being able to manifest it in the correct spots. Everybody else is able to watch on while this is happening and has a few seconds with Rifter. Except Thor, because you know.
I'm gonna try to slash it with hope. I guess that's my only other option.
Everybody else had a few seconds.
Yeah,
Oh, I don't have a second. Damn.
You have
Darius,
one moment
Schoonhoff?
stretched to eternity.
I guess I'll try a 9th level Dispel Magic.
Go for it. Go ahead and give me an Arcana.
I've seen you win these.
We win these.
One of the chains that is latched onto him unlatches, giving you a few extra seconds.
Darius is he used all of his energy both on the trying to pull out the stake and then fending off in his realm, like.
At this point, Zeus's stuff has finally manifested. He's able to. Everybody sees for just the briefest of seconds a split second where you're out in a grassy field. Another moment you're completely submerged in water and pitch black abyss. Another you see a volcano exploding in the distance, but then you're back here in this tower as the jump has failed to connect. Rifter pops out of existence. The next begins to go for Zeus.
Zeus is going to just kind of any stance he was in or trying to conjure of anything, he's just going to kind of put his arms out. He's going to look towards the rest of them and that are there and just kind of say, guess we prepare to fight.
We even have the chance.
Dai is still alive.
Do Schoonhoff or Darius have any? I would like each of you to describe. Well, each of the three of you describe how you go. Slork goes very sadly. Zeus, what happens as you get yoinked?
Darius is just preparing, like gathering his energy, like this is happening. I need to just be ready.
Yeah. Zeus is similarly just like little bit head tilted down, brows furrowed, stern look forward, getting prepared for whatever he's going to see on the opposite side of this, assuming he will see something.
Actually, before that, Darius is going to try and, as much as he can, write somewhere on his paper just "I'm sorry" and try and make sure that it's left behind when we're gone.
Okay. It is done. Zeus, you're watching forward as you're the next person to go. Schunhoff and Darius see as he disappears in front of them. Next, Sloric begins to get yoinked. He's very concerned and he moves even closer to Schunhoff than he normally does, and he's squeezing onto your legs very tightly. He is afraid. He's looking up at you, Schunhoff.
It's okay.
His eyes.
We're not giving up just yet.
His eyes wobble and quiver, and then he goes poof. Schunhoff, how does yours go about?
Is there any way I can attempt to gain some spell slots back?
I mean, I think you still technically have your Chug Jug, if you want to use that.
I would not like to use that right now.
You still
Oh,
have sorcery points, I believe.
That's true, but I would like
Wait.
to meditate.
He simply closes his eyes, accepts this aspect of his fate, and just purely prepares himself for whatever situation he needs to be in. And at that moment, Darius is alone. This entire snapshot of everything happening, the Lich has barely turned like an eighth of the way to being able to turn to face you after it all began. Darius drops his letter, and how does it happen? As each of these chains reaches for you.
He just kind of tilts his head up. I don't know. In some way, he wants to let Lathander know that he's going, so he's just going to expend. I mean, lore-wise, I want to expend all of my spell slots to make like some kind of magical shift, so that Lathander knows. But on the other hand, if I need them for a fight and I cuck the fight because I don't have spell slots, you know what? Fuck it. He's going to expend all of his spell slots just in a way to like make a blip in magic so that Lathander feels some of his power being pulled and he's gone.
And you know that he has received it.
As what he does is as like how that manifests is like just shining, flaming, warm light just manifests itself like around his body as like this glowing like almost like plasma envelops his entire body and just leaves the char marks as he's sitting on the ground of where he was when he's gone.
You're able to see in those last few frames of vision that you're able to get as the Lich starts to recoil for just a moment before you, just like everyone before you, simply sees a white expanse of void and the sound of a ticking clock for about a minute and a half before we get to the start of the next session. Tick,
Hold on a...
tock, tick, tock, tick,
Damn.
tock, tick, tock. Each of you probably tries to call out some here, and you are utterly alone. And with that, the session is over.
Oh, hold on. Let me just drag all of us into gay baby jail real quick.
Yeah, there you go, there you go. Very wise, very wise.
Everybody into gay baby jail.
There we go.
Game over.
All right, see you guys for season 2.
Yeah.
We got Thanos snapped. It's over.
So,
Before we turn
Damn.
off the stream, is there anything anybody wants to say to the rest of the world?
Andromache's a bitch.
True.
Truly, I cannot
all-
believe we ever thought of helping him.
Can we all get a big old fat long rest?
Hmm.
Can I get some fucking drama keys in the chat, please? That's all I'm asking for.
So
Can I
true.
get a number 9? Number
Oh.
9 large.
All I can say is that this kind of shit makes me realize like how absolutely fucked we would have been like on a cosmic level if we had tried to fight the Collector. If we tried to fight Calcus at that first time we met him.
Yeah.
This is the part where I do that cat nodding gif.
Mhm.
Yeah. how like incredibly like wow, the campaign's over kind of fucked.
Hell, the second time we only survived because he failed save against being banished.
OOC, he is less powerful than Andromache by a fair amount, but yeah, like that is still a very
Still,
valid
At
point.
levels like we were level 6 or some shit like it.
You were like 9.
Level, yeah.
Easy
had level
dub.
3
Honestly, easiest dub of my life.
Mm.
All right,
I can
well,
tech it.
thank you all for being here, both as players and as viewers, and I look forward to getting to the final act of the campaign starting next week.
God damn, we didn't get to fucking put the we didn't get to put the guy back into his place. We fucked it.
Of course, we can still have post-game act stuff, but at that point, it's bordering on trivial.
Yeah.
So,
It's real to me.
It is real to me.
To me.
Real to me.
It is real to me. And you know
I'm
what's
glad you
not
all
real
get
to
the
me?
meme.
The stream in about 2 seconds. Goodbye.